Obviously this is the first time that you have appeared before me, so I imagine you're a little nervous. I know I would be if I saw me walk out with this weird thing, but I just have been playing these songs and going around the country, and it's been really, really great this last couple of years. For many years I played with other people, and you may find some of them on my CDs, like Ruthie Foster, and Ray Wiley Hubbard, and Patty Griffin, and people like that, Malford Milligan. Not that I'm not opposed to name dropping. Because you know when somebody name drops, they're just trying to make themselves appear one rung higher on the entertainment ladder, leaned against the wall of illusion and broken dreams. In fact, I was talking about that with Willie the other day. He agrees with me. He says it's a really, really bad habit. It's getting bad in here. Okay, I hope I can sing. I mentioned Ray. Spinning around looking for a place to be, and I can't find the ground when it's falling away from me. I can stumble uptown to my local infirmary, but I'd fumble back down, never know more to see when I'm alone. Gone, ain't nobody gonna hear this song. Gone, tell your friend she can come along. Strong, because I still can't lose my long gone lonely love sick blues. Everybody wants a little bit of piece of me, but nobody haunts you like the ghost of jealousy. Anybody that flaunts, guess it's just what they be with somebody that don't gonna get peace for free when I'm alone. Ain't nobody gonna hear this song. Tell Rebecca she can come along. Strong, because I still can't lose my lonely love sick loser blues. Some people pray to hoping for the peace of mind. I can't be that way, no. Just wanna be kind of big. I might say plank, who's leading the blind become judgment day. Who know what they find when I'm alone? Gone, ain't nobody gonna wrong. Tell your friend she can come along. Strong, because I still can't lose my lonely love sick loser. There's another song. Oh, thank you. You keep coming in. I keep playing, and then I stop my shoegazing, and then I look up, and there's more people, and that makes me very happy. Well, like I said, I was a side person for most of my life. And I had the brilliant idea at the age of 43 to start a solo career. Now I'm 45 and it's doing okay. You guys will be my first here in this town. And I'm playing small rooms on this tour. All 4 of the other ones are sold out. So I'm going to go ahead and talk to my people. But a few years back, I was still siding. I was mainly playing with a guy named Joe Ely. And I played on his records and stuff like that. And I had this song that started getting on the radio, this song called Trouble Find Me. And it was as much a surprise to me as it was to anybody because it's 5 minutes and 40 seconds long. It's kind of like having 2 songs on the radio. And they started playing it on the radio, and I started getting gigs, and I started having to say no to these fine people that I played with who put a lot of boots on my feet and paid for a lot of my rent. And it was a daunting thing, like I said to my friend Ray, I said, oh man, I don't know if anybody wants to listen to me. And he goes, where's your proof? He's got a little sling blade in his voice, if you don't know Ray Wiley. He said, where's your proof? And I said, what do you mean? He said, are people coming to your shows? And I said, yeah. He said, are they putting you on the radio? I said, yeah. He goes, there's your proof. I was like, all right, well, that helped me think about it a little bit. And so I went out and I started playing more on my own. Now you fast forward, I go and I visit my mother in Ohio, who I'm going to see in a couple of days for her birthday. And somebody said, hey, will you play that song, Trouble Find Me, for your mom? And I go, oh, I don't want to play that. It's kind of a sad song. It's a dark song. And they talked me into it, and I finally played the song for my mom. And I got done, and my mom said, Jeffrey, because she could do that. She said, Jeffrey, that was beautiful. And I said, thank you very much, Mom. She said, can I ask you a question? And I said, sure. And she said, are you okay? And I said, yeah, Mom, I'm okay. I didn't tell her it was a co-write, but this is the song that got me started on my own. Louisiana is my home. I drank my whiskey all alone. Temptation got me on the run. But mama's son don't hurt no one. Don't want no trouble. Trouble, but trouble find me. Trouble find me when nothing going right, and no hope is left inside. I should be praying to the Lord. Don't want to bother him tonight, and I don't want no trouble, no. Don't want no trouble. Yeah, but trouble find me. Trouble find me. Well, I wish I could move on. Redemption too far gone. now I'm left with an empty bottle and an aching head. You don't ever wanna be where I've been or will be. 'Cause when I'm down, and I'm always down, it's trouble find me, yeah. I can't take it no more. This knock, knock, knocking on my door. When nothing's on the other side, but still I'm always open wide. And I don't want no trouble, no. Don't want no trouble. Yeah, but trouble find me. Trouble find me. Trouble find me. Trouble find me. Oh, thanks. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. I got done playing that song in Long Island. Oh, it's so wonderful of you. Long Island. Not kidding. I was playing that song and I got done and a lady who was sitting right about where you are said, "I can see why your mother was worried." I can't do accents very well. But no, it was Rhode Island. It was not Long Island. That was more Long Island. But my friend told me last night, I was playing with this guy named Michael O'Connor. He's a guitar player. And she came up to the merch table at the end of the night and she goes, "What do you think of our accents?" I can't do accents. I certainly couldn't do what Rhode Island is. And he goes, "Oh, it's cool. I feel like I'm on Family Guy." I was like, whoa. So I'm always trying to smooth things out. And so I just said to her, I just let her know, I said, "Just so you know, everyone on King of the Hill is real. If you've been to Texas, then everybody knows a Boomhauer and everybody knows a Peggy and a Dale." That seemed to work. I'm gonna play this right now for my wife. We were talking a little bit about my wife, and sometimes I brag on her. We're very yin and yang. I'm a nervous talker. She's very demure and chooses her words wisely. She's a good influence on me. But I'll tell you why in a sec, one of the many reasons. I was going to do this new record called Sleeping Dogs, which is my record over there, my newest one. And I had a rhythm section booked, a really, really spectacular rhythm section. These guys that I play with a lot, Brandon Temple and Yogi, they used to play with a guy named Stephen Bruton. And I had a rhythm section booked, but I only had one song ready when I went into the studio that day. And I was like, that is not a good move. Because these guys are fast and they're brilliant and they know exactly what to do. And I've played with them for 10 years. If I was like taking a solo and I just started playing softer, they'd just go with me. Because they played together for like 30 years. So I was like, what am I going to do? I woke up really early that day and I wrote a song, and you can imagine how that went. And then on my phone, I had like a little recording. I do this thing on the weekends where all these ragtag musicians get together and we do whatever we think is gospel that week, and we raise money for the Central Texas Food Bank. It's called Purgatory Players. And, somebody will play a Staples Singers song, and then John D. will play Tom Waits, and then somebody will do an original, and then somebody will do a Stevie Wonder tune. It's whatever we think. This barista was working one day, and somebody walked in. They said, hey, they sound great. What kind of music do they play? And the kid said the most awesome thing. He goes, oh, they play spiritual music for non-denominational folk. And I was like, that's awesome. That is cool. New moniker for the Purgatory Players. So I had this idea for this gospel tune, and I had a lap steel, my signature steel that I designed, and didn't have it plugged in, and it just was real soft on my phone. And I played it for the guys, and I said, I had an instrumental on my last album. People seem to like it. I'll just do it as an instrumental. So I recorded it with the guys, and it was just like, it's awesome. And I'm driving home through the Texas Hill Country. It's a beautiful day in the fall. It's gorgeous. I'm thinking gospel music. I'm thinking this instrumental. I was like, I'm going to call this song Heaven on Earth, this instrumental song. And I get home, I start talking to my wife, and I'm playing it in the background. My wife is a horticulturalist and a gardener and an arborist. She has a love of nature that I never had growing up in a steel town in Ohio. It's been a really good influence on me to be a little bit calmer with the inner voice. Maybe not at shows, but... So just randomly, while she's playing this music in the background, my new song, she goes, honey, what are your 5 favorite things in nature? I'm like, where did that come from, It's like, I don't know. I gave her a dude answer. I was like, I like mountains. Right? And she's like, oh yeah, what else? And I was like, I don't know. I think I was 20 the first time I saw an ocean, so I get really humbled when I go to the ocean, thinking, oh, that's a good answer. That'll get her. And then all of a sudden I said, honey, what are your 5 favorite things in nature? And she goes, I love when I'm like standing in really low water and the sound that the waves make when I'm standing on pebbles and the water goes over your feet. And I was like, what? I said, what? And she's like, yeah, it's like one of my favorite things. I said, what else? And she goes, I love when I'm standing on a snow-covered field, like a big field, and it's just silent. And I was just transported right there, right? And so I went in the next day, and I just took the instrumental, and I just sung all of my wife's favorite things in nature over top of this song that was cut as an instrumental that was called Heaven on Earth. And this is what came out. And so I'll try sometimes. People are your muses. Unsuspecting muse. I'm sorry, sir. I don't remember opening it up to the question and answer part of the show. No, I'm just kidding, man. Like mountains. No. There's a bird nesting quietly on the back porch. Her song is not of rebirth. She sings soft and serene to her young ones. She teaches heaven on earth. The sweet smell of harvest leaves, red foxes playful mud, magnolia buds in the springtime, yeah. They all can be heaven on earth. The winter field, snow is silence. The warmth of the evening, summer wind. The sound of the waves through pebbles at your feet. The chores to love this world we're living in. Take a walk with your love through the woodlands. You will see what this life is truly worth. There's no need to wait for untold futures. Today you can have heaven on earth. If only for a moment, heaven on earth. You guys are, yeah, I definitely got to thank my wife for that. Somebody a couple of nights ago was like, "Did you offer her a co-write?" And I said, "She's getting the money anyway." Which is a real joke because she's made tens of dollars on this song so far. But it is cool that people associate that with, I think there's a whole kind of movement these days in a good way to have sort of secular gospel music, kind of gospel for everybody. I kind of dig that thing. I'm kind of everybody welcome kind of guy. That's how I am. And my friend Eliza Gilkison has an album called Secularia that's really, really brilliant and has a lot of that kind of stuff on it. Kind of reminds me of this song. I wasn't planning for that incredible segue. It's that touch of amateurism that I'm told makes me so lovable. Tough crowd. You guys are the opposite of a tough crowd. But I do like the fact that you're already just like jumping right in. That's definitely fun. This is another one that kind of falls in that category of can work at a gospel brunch but isn't about gospel. I prefer spiritual awakening to religious conversion myself. And that's just what works for me. I want you to do whatever works for you. But generally when when I come to a show, I'm pretty sure that the first thing that people think when I walk up is, I'll bet that guy's really into musical theater. No? Not so much? Well, this song is... Sorry. I'm having fun. This song is inspired by Lin-Manuel Miranda, of all people. And he gave a speech after the Pulse nightclub shooting, and he won a Tony Award. I never would have watched the Tony Awards, but that's cool. And it went viral, and it hit me. And I was just like, it hit everybody. And I was just like, oh, man. Just like you're watching this video, and everybody, you just see the room kind of go crazy and just all feel this kind of togetherness. And then you feel that everybody who watched the video felt it. And at the end of this piece of poetry that he read, he kept saying this thing over and over again that the old hippies used to say when I was a kid. And I mean the real hippies. And I'm not talking about like the Trustafarian kids with the Birkenstocks. I'm talking about real hippies. They used to say, thank you for getting that joke. Nothing against them. I'm just talking about real hippies. They used to say this thing when I was a kid. And they brought it back. And I kind of feel like in 2019... or 2018 when I made the record, man, it's a shame that we have to say it, but if we do, I like it when we say it together, and I like it when people sing it, and I like when it's said out loud. And they wanted me to make a video for this song. You got to make videos for your songs. I'm putting out a new record. I'm now a budding solo artist, and they say, you need videos. I'm like, what? Nobody looks at videos. They said, yeah, but the algorithms on Facebook and everything and YouTube, you're never going to get your music heard if you don't make videos. All right, well. Fine, so I go and do the title track with the band, and we kind of just like have some fun in the studio and make one video, and then my duet with Ray Wiley, we get together, we make a video. I do a live one for the Heaven on Earth song you just heard. Well, this video, they had me in a studio in front of a big microphone, and I'm sitting there singing, and I'm like playing like I'm doing this song, and I'm like, this is stupid. You know, I'm literally like right there in the moment, like, ugh. And so I went home and I took that part of the video and I put it kind of underneath, and I sent out a little message to all of my friends and family and fans on the interwebs. I'm getting old, I can say the interwebs, like the YouTubes. And I just told them to send me in pictures of whatever love meant to them. And it was cool. Because what I got back was a nice, beautiful mosaic of what the world really looks like, at least what my world really looks like and the people that I know. And it was cool, and it made me feel great. And if you're into that kind of thing, you go watch the video and see if you feel the same. This is that song. Jimmy fell hard for Jenny. Jamie fell in love with Jay. You can't choose with whom you fall. I think it's better that way. Could be a chemical thing, maybe cosmic and such. Try as you might to clearly define, well, you won't come back with much. Love is love, is love. Love is love, is love. People try to change love. They give conditions and rules. They try to tell you they're no better. They tell you your love ain't cool. Love don't mind your religion. Love don't know about race. love may come from. Love doesn't need to explain. Love is love, is love. Love is love, is love. For the woo. Put it on one song on one album, then you got to bring it out every night. We are born knowing love, have to be taught how to hate, to let go of all your preconceived notions. You only need to relate. Come take a seat at the table, break some bread, make a new friend. In time you'll find forgiveness and kindness is all you ever needed. Love is love, is love, is love. Love is love, is love, is love. Love is love, is love, is love. Love is love, is love. Thank you, guys. All right. Right now I'm going to do the title track to my album Sleeping Dogs, which is my latest album, and which is why there's dogs all over the merchandise, because I'm a dog person. And a buddy of mine who co-wrote some of the stuff with me is from a band called Fastball, and he was like, "There's your single. Put a dog on the cover and get ready to go." I was like, all right. But I said, you know what, man, I can do that because, you know, we got a couple of rescues, you know, and I always wanted a dog. And before I got married, I couldn't because I'm on the road too much. But, you know, she gets the homestead, and we take the dogs back and forth to Canada every year where we summer. Only because I'm married into it, and my wife's cool, and my family's cool. But I just wanted an album cover that you looked at and you just wanted to pet it, you know. So there's like this real cool picture of like my dog Oscar. He's kind of like a corgi terrier mix. So he looks like a corgi, but you can mess up his hair. And in his eyeball, there's a picture of me playing my weird slide guitar. And of course, on the back cover, it's his butt. And but that has nothing to do with the song. What happened was my wife and I were driving on Vancouver Island, and we had a little time together, and it was rainy, and I had this song in my head, this old Toots and the Maytals song, it's called, and it was like, I had it like stuck in my head. And I wasn't going to write a reggae tune because I'm not a poser. But I just, what, is that funny? What? Well, I mean, really, we went in the studio with Scrappy, and he was like, "Oh, cool, reggae," and I was like, "Oh God, no!" I was like, "No, don't do that." I was like, do what like the Stones would do with a reggae tune, or what Tom Petty would do with a reggae tune. I was like, otherwise, I'm just gonna sound like, you know, oh, them troubles, you know, like I'm not gonna do that, man. Like, it's inauthentic. I like it too much to do that, you know. I digress. The story's never gone that way before. But what I did with the song was this. Anybody who knows me, I am a worrywart, and I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I take things personally a little bit too much. I haven't really grown up at 45 yet. I'm still working on it. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to say everything that I'm just going to make all these different verses about stuff that I just suck at. And if I just beat it in my head for a tour or two and play it with everybody with this powerful rock tune, then maybe I'll get better at it. Well, it's been since May. Yeah. But the coolest thing about it is now people come up to me after a big rock show with the full band and they're like, oh, I love that song, Sleeping Dogs, because they play it all the time in Austin and at some other places. And so much so that a friend said, you know, I'm really sick of hearing that song on the radio. And I was like, that's awesome. It's a good problem to have. But I was like, I'm gonna let the sleeping dogs lie. I just pulled over and I said, honey, will you take the wheel? It's her truck anyway. And that's where this song came from. Let's have some fun with it. I'm gonna play a loud rock song solo with an acoustic guitar and see how it goes. Used to worry about everything, what you thought, what you think. Now I know I do what's right. I let the sleeping dogs lie. Every time I fall down, I once again feel the cold ground. Get up, leave it, and I go on trying and let the sleeping dogs lie. So I let the sleeping dogs lie. Once you had me in your claws, never knew what was the cause, but I let go, I ceased to fight, and let the sleeping dogs lie. You say something's behind my back, well, I'm not so very concerned with that. Your problem has never been mine. I let the sleeping dogs lie. So I let the sleeping dogs lie. So I let the sleeping dogs lie. For someone to blame, that's exactly when I lost the game. No more tears come from my eyes. I let the sleeping dogs lie. I see it clearly coming through the mist. Where to finally be done with this? The illusion of power, it fades with time if you let the sleeping dogs lie. So I 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 let the sleeping dogs lie. She has a heart so true and kind, but what I love's a beautiful mind. All them troubles we can leave behind and let the sleeping dogs lie. So I said, I just wanted to throw it in. I went, all them troubles. Me overstand, me no understand, me overstand. I love that. That's one of my favorite reggae sayings, Rasta sayings. I don't understand, man. I overstand. It's kind of hard not to like that stuff. Even though I don't smoke weed anymore. I still love reggae a lot. Thanks. You know what, though? Okay, so I have this song. That leads me to this one. I have this live album that we were talking about earlier. You were like, oh, I don't have the live album. There's a guy named Stephen Bruton who we lost a few years back. And when he passed, he was this really, really incredible writer, really incredible guitar player. I don't play a ton of covers. Hopefully when you play a cover, it's not because it has cool chord changes. Hopefully it's because you can express something to the audience or the song means something to you. I was asked to play guitar on his tribute album with this guy, Malford Milligan, singing, and so I got to learn like 40 of his songs. And this guy wrote Fallin' and Flyin' from Crazy Heart, and he wrote for Chris Christopherson and played with him and played with Bonnie Raitt, and boom, 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 down the line. Like huge, incredible guitar player, incredible writer, and mentor to so many people in Austin. And his band, The Resentments, cut one of my songs. They were the first people to ever cut one of my songs a long time ago, and he was really, really cool to me when he didn't know me from Adam. Didn't have to. And so they asked me to play guitar on the tribute album. It was real daunting, but this one song just hit me. And I was like, you know what? I can play this song for the rest of my life and never get sick of it because I love the lyrics. Whenever I'm playing this song in a bar, what I say right before I play it is anybody having a birthday this year? And I get them every time. I know I was going to get you guys. Usually some drunk, yeah! This one, Jimmy. Like, well, then this song is for you because it's a birthday song, you know? One of the things that I'm drawn to writers who aren't like me, I'm drawn to writers that are better than me. When I used to play with Ray, he used to say, you put people in your band that are better than you, and then hopefully you rise to their level. So I do the same thing with songs. If I'm going to learn a song, I want to learn a song from somebody who is awesome. Couldn't care less if it was a hit. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe I should think about that, but maybe not. So when I dig about Stephen's writing, one thing, first of all, they're just incredible songs. There's this thing called anti-metaboly, and I never knew what it was, but I had to look it up because I dropped out of college, you know. And it's when, it's like a play on words, like the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. That's anti-metaboly. And he has one of these in almost every song. Like I can always find it. It's like in the second verse, like right before the chorus, or it's tucked into the bridge. You know, like this one he says, only time will tell if it was time well spent. And I'm like, that's good, right? That's good writing. That's way out of my league writing. And sometimes they're funny too. They're not exactly anti-metaboly. He says in one song, my girl's not a dish, she's a whole set of china. That's a badass compliment. That's like a cool dude compliment, hip. If only we could be that eloquent when talking to a woman. Not gonna happen for me. So this is the song that I learned, and I put it on my live album because I loved it. Singing happy birthday. I better think about the wish I made. You know this year gone by ain't been no piece of cake. Every day's a revolution. Put them together and they come undone. Just one more candle and a trip around the sun. They say you never see it coming. You wind up wondering just where it went. Only time will tell if it was time well spent. Every day's a revelation, celebrating what I should have done. I got my souvenirs on this trip around the sun. I keep hanging on while this old world keeps spinning. And it's good to know it's out of my control. If there's one thing that I've learned from all this living, is that it wouldn't mean a thing if I let go. They say you never see it coming. I keep hanging on while this old world keeps spinning. And it's good to know it's out of my control. If there's one thing that I've learned from all this living, is that it wouldn't mean a thing if I let go. I think I'll make a resolution that I'll never make another one, and just enjoy my time on this trip around the sun. Just enjoy my time on this trip around the sun. Yeah, it's a good song. I believe that, thank you very much. I believe Stephen wrote that with Al Anderson from NRBQ and a woman named Sharon Vaughn. And just a little too long for this guy. Have a good one. Thanks very much. Don't worry, I won't keep you all out too late. I really appreciate you guys coming, especially those of you, which is probably all of you who've never heard of me before. So thank you. It means a lot that you would come and listen to some new songs, to somebody you've never heard before, because this place is cool. And The person who made my poster, maybe? Thank you, it's really cool. Very hip. Very hip. May call you again. You may notice that I have this little thing on the floor. Basically, here's what happened. I got called, my friend Ray Wiley said, hey, will you do some openers for me in Colorado? And I said, sure. I got a buddy who lives in Denver. I'll call him. He'll play guitar for you. And that was cool. And so I flew to Denver, and I had about a 2-week tour, and it was going to start off with these 2 Ray Wiley shows. And one was at a place called the Soiled Dove in Denver. It's about 400-seater. Horrible name, fantastic club. Unless you know what Soiled Dove means. I guess that's cool, but I don't know. And I don't think it's cool. But I get there, and the day I get there, my friend Michael gets food poisoning. Bad. He's not coming out. And so I'm like, what am I going to do? I got all these songs playing. I got this guitar player, and I'm not going to be able to do my show. And so I went to a Guitar Center, which is basically Home Depot for musicians. It's like, you don't go there because you're going to get that guitar that's going to change your life. You go there to get the stuff that's just mass-produced and, whatever. You're going to get your China stuff there. No offense to China either. But what am I talking about? Anyway, I get a looper, which is what the kids use. And they do all this bleep bloop stuff, and it's really cool, and they layer voices, and it's, I guess it's interesting. But what I do is, I just, that came out wrong too, didn't it? And, well, it always ends up sounding like just like one thing all the way through. Like there's never like parts to the song. I don't know. Some people do it really cool. The first one was KT Tunstall. She was awesome. That was hip. I mean, some people do it great. I don't know how to do any of that. I don't care. But what I do is, what I did was I would just like play a verse while I was playing, and then I'd hit the looper. And my friend Michael wasn't there, and so I'd hit the looper, and then I could take a solo over a verse. And then I got real excited, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a verse and a bridge, and then take a solo over both. And then I named it Michael. And then during the show, in Denver, I brought it out, and I was like, this is Michael. And when it was great, I'd be like, take it, Michael. And when it was really shitty, I'd be like, I'm going to dock your pay tonight, Michael. That was really bad. Because when you use a looper and it goes off, it's bad. It's loud, and everybody can hear it. It's like a bass player breaking a string on the chorus, It's awful sounding. But this next song's going to feature Michael. This kid, this young man who's a producer named Gabriel Rhodes called me, and he said, Jeff, I think I wrote a Plank song. And if you guys don't know this, my name is Jeff Plankenhorn, and my nickname is Plank, for a number of reasons. It's short, and I'm thick-headed, and Plank is good, And I just thought when I restarted my career, at 43, I just wanted a name that just dripped from the tongue like honey. And so as a stage name, I thought Plankenhorn would be perfect and would just skyrocket me. My real name is Nick Steele. But I didn't think that was rock and roll enough, so I went with Plankenhorn. So he called me and he said, hey, man, I think I wrote a Plank song. I said, that's really cool, because he liked the Trouble Find Me thing. So I go over to his house, and he's got like a first verse written to this song. I go, man, that's beautiful. Boom, we write a second verse right there on the spot. Boom, we write a bridge. He's like, what do we need now? And I was like, it's done. So we go into his studio, and he's a producer and a great guitar player and stuff, and worked on a lot of great records, more name dropping. And we cut a demo with him playing guitar and me singing. And I called my co-producer, Scrappy Judd Newcomb, and I said, hey, man, I got another song. And he goes, no, the album's done. We got 10 songs. We're done. And I was like, all right. So the next day we were set to mix, and I went in the studio a little early. And I put it down and with the engineer, and I said, hey, check out this demo. And then I didn't tell him what Scrappy said. And then I went in the back, and I found an upright bass, and I pulled it out of the corner, and I went, boom, boom, and I played it on the song. And then I cranked up the Hammond organ, and I can't play organ at all, and I just went, put it on a little bit. And then the engineer grabbed a snare drum, and he went, shh. And then Scrappy came in, and I said, hey, man, I got this thing I want you to listen to before we start. And he goes, okay. And he sits there with his hand kind of on him. He's like this. And he listens to the whole song, and we get done, and he goes, yeah, I think we got room for that. And it's cool, because we wrote this song as like sort of a, it was right after, in the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey. And I think there's a lot of hope in this song, and I love playing it. And I'm really thankful, because when somebody brings you a song they've already started and they want to co-write it, that's like a really personal thing. So it's like a real gift. I never would have thought of this song. And I really love this song. So I always like to thank Gabriel Rhodes for bringing this to me for us to work on. It's called Further to Fall. All is quiet. The storm has gone. Time to sift through the rubble, see what is lost and move on. Looking around, might seem we've lost it all, but fools can always find a little further to fall, a little further to fall. We're out of danger, no need for concern. Why even ask? There's no lesson to be learned. These paper card houses, we build them up so tall, but fools can always find ways to make them fall a little further to fall. Hard luck, bad luck, no luck at all. We still got a little further to fall. Hard luck, bad luck, no luck at all. Fools can always find a little further to fall, a little further to fall, a little further to fall, a little further to fall. Thank you. Thanks, Gabe. All right, well, I'm going to just play a few more for you and be really, really grateful that you came out and saw someone you never heard of. It's really cool of you, and I'm very grateful to this fine, fine establishment that I walked into and was like, what? You know, we're not like, super purists, my wife and I, but records are, I don't need to preach to you guys, you already know, but it's just, there's so many times when a record is special for us. Making a meal and just like hanging out. It's like you make the meal, you flip the record, you eat the meal, you've had a time. You know what I mean? It's like such a hip thing. I really, really dig that. And I also am one of those people that really believes that, I know people have to listen to Spotify and they have to do all those things, and I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole with you because I'm sure you've heard that a million times too. It is what it is. Print media got changed, and this gets changed, and things go through things. But I gotta say, like, when I finally said, okay, well, I guess I'll give Apple Music a try and see what happens. It'd be nice to have everything in the world, while I'm still buying music for the people that are alive, and I'm still buying music for the people that, I'm trying to support and doing my best. So we get Apple Music, and then I'm like, I don't have ears like most people. Like, I don't have, like, super in-tune ears. And I was like, this sucks. People don't know, like, streaming is, like, really, really crappy quality. It's crap. I was like, whoa, nobody cares because it's free. It's really bad. And I was so surprised by it. I was like, this was like, I don't know, a couple years ago. I held out that long. I didn't get a cell phone till 2006, so imagine how long I waited to do streaming. But so it's great, I'll get a record and I'll check it out and stuff, but I'll be like, if I listen to one of my old favorite records, I'll be like, this sucks. And nobody cares because they don't know the difference. So there's still a lot of reason, and that's why, places like this and places like Waterloo Records and of course Cactus in Houston, and they're just really still very important to me, And the fact that you bring up somebody that nobody knows from this area and get them to do a show, that's a testament to something really cool that you're going out of your way to do. So thank you. I know your ass is for sitting and not kissing, but I'm going to do it anyway. So you want to hear something else that's really funny? Or at least I think it's funny. So I got all this merch over here, and T-shirts and posters, and get people to do cool posters for me, and not just the one you did, but these other ones, and koozies and all that kind of stuff. And I'm doing a show at the Saxon Pub, and it's packed, and I got a full band, and it's 8:00 on a Friday night, and I get done around 10, and I'm just feeling great, right? And this young 25-year-old man comes up to the stage. Excuse me, kid. I can say that now. And he comes up to the stage, and he's holding my CD. And he's, like, shaking it like this. He's like, hey, man. Hey, I loved your set. I was like, cool. I'm grabbing my guitar. And he's like, I bought your CD. I said, oh, thanks, man. He goes, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I bought it. And I was like, I kind of felt like that was a personal victory in that moment. It really was. Well, but that's why we do other stuff. What's that? It really happened. It truly happened. And, but that's why I have the softest T-shirts that anyone will ever touch. Everybody always laughs at that. What you do is this. I saw all the gals in town were walking around wearing Lucy's Fried Chicken T-shirts. And I was like, what's the deal? And I asked my wife, why are you living in this Lucy's Fried Chicken T-shirt? And she goes, because it's just fantastic. And I could live in this thing. And all these gals I knew were. So I went and I figured out what kind of T-shirt it was. And then I went to the company and I bought all my T-shirts from there. Works like a charm. Even if they don't know me, they like the T-shirt and they buy it. So... let me do just a couple more. Okay, so just maybe two more. Is that okay? And let's see. Anybody who knows me knows that I've had good fortune in the past few years. I've turned my life around for good ways and cleaned up my act. I got married. I got a solo career that's actually working. It's really, really cool. I hardly ever sideman anymore, only when it's really fun. And... I kind of joke with my friends about how I didn't want to be a singer-songwriter anymore. You know what I mean? Like, because what happens is people pay $20, $25 to come and see you, and then you get up on stage and you just whine about your problems. I was tired of that. And so I was like, well, I don't know, man. I started co-writing, and then again, and then it was like I just got up on stage and whined about somebody else's problems. That didn't work. And I said, you know, I want to try and find some uplifting stuff to sing about, but the problem is when you're really happy, you don't usually want to sit down and write a song about it. It's usually the opposite. But I found this song. It was written by this guy named Jeff Barry, and it was originally done by Percy Sledge. And I fell in love with it. And I have this weird guitar that I designed that kind of looks like this. It's kind of like a lap steel, kind of like a dobro. And the whole idea is to take like the Jerry Douglas bluegrass that I learned and played in bluegrass bands on one mic, and then the sacred steel stuff of like pre-Robert Randolph, like the Campbell Brothers and Aubrey Gent and all them, and I wanted to put the two things together, and that's what the whole Soul Slide album is about. Every song is me playing that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of like, if you don't know the sacred steel around here, it would really surprise me. Does everybody pretty much know? Okay, good. Anywhere I go, it's like what happened to me was I was in California and I was playing a show and the Campbell Brothers were playing after us, and Derek sat in with me and Ray Wiley, and I was playing dobro and he was playing pedal steel on me, going like this, and then I get done and they start half a song. Through half a song, I walk right over to the merch table and I go, "Give me everything," and they gave me everything they had, and it just changed my life. And that really influenced the way I write songs for this kind of thing. And this song's like that, but this song is like how I felt when I was making that album, and I thought, well, if that's not a good enough reason to do a cover, then, and we'll see if we can do it with Mr. Michael down here. We might be able to pull it off. Things have been going wrong long enough to know everything else right. I've been walking in the dark long enough to know I've finally seen the light. I've been losing long enough to know when I finally won. sailing on a ship that's overdue. And I've blown so many chances that I ain't gonna blow this one with you. And I've seen enough bad times to know the good times have begun. Girl, and even the blind man can tell when he's walking in the sun. And even the blind man can tell when he's walking in the sun. Thank you. All right, one more and I'll send you on your way. I really appreciate y'all coming. Driving and riding, I've been beating the pavement, Oakland to New Orleans. I've been biting and hiding the nails off my fingers, trying to figure out what it means. But the road's been good to me, Lord, you know I can't complain. Yes, the road is all I know, without it I wouldn't be the same. But as I roll on down, flying and defying, my heart stays the same. If I don't get home before the sun, girl, it'd be a crying shame. Well, it's hard and it's a pity when you get what you asked and it wasn't what you wanted all along. And you wake up, you shake up, you come to find you've been going about it all wrong. Teacher and my friend, yes, the road is all I know, but right now I won't see you again. But it's a long, long way from TX to BC, and I'm counting every single mile. I'm gonna get back to you, we're gonna do the things we do. Can't wait to see you smile. Homecoming, yeah, I'm homecoming, girl, I'm coming home. Homecoming. much, everybody. Support your local radio, record stores, radio stations. I don't know what I'm saying. Thank you very, very much, you guys. I really, really appreciate it. I hope I've made some new fans tonight. I hope you come and see me again. Thank you again. Come meet me. I'll show you what a CD is.